Well, the new year is less than 24 hours away, and with that comes new traffic safety laws that will begin at the start of the year. Joining me now is Officer John Fransen from CHP. And hello, thank you for being here today. I know you guys are always very busy.
Good morning.
Good
Yes,
morning.
definitely.
Well, let's talk about some of these new laws because I know drivers, things change pretty often and you just want to be aware of what's going on. The first thing is we all know it's not okay to be in your vehicle while you're holding your cell phone, talking, or texting. You'll be punished with a fine. Now, if you're caught a second time, you actually get points on your driving record. So, Officer Franson, what does that actually mean?
So yeah, now beginning July 1st of next year, if somebody within I think it's a 36-month period of time is convicted uh, twice of driving distracted, that means either texting on their phone or even holding the phone up to their ear and talking, that's going to be a point against their DMV record. Obviously, nobody wants points on their DMV record because your insurance goes up. And if you get enough points within a year period of time, your driver's license can become suspended. So obviously, we don't want that to happen to anybody. But we also recognize the fact that distracted driving is still a humongous problem. And hopefully, this will help remind people a little bit more that this is significant, that the primary job of driving is to drive your vehicle. It's a life or death decision that you're making every time you pick up that phone instead of your primary responsibility of driving. You got to keep your eyes on the road.
So just to get some clarification, when you're distracted driving, there's those things that go in your car now that are available where you can put your phone, a holder. Can you utilize that while you're driving? For example, if you're just checking directions or things like that, is it just not okay when it's physically in your hand?
Yeah, exactly. It's not okay when it's physically in your hand. And again, texting is a big issue as well. And it's not people just sending normal text messages. I mean, we're stopping people that are on their social media. They're posting to Instagram as they're driving. I mean, it's become a huge problem, and it's one of these things where not only is this law in place, but if it's really egregious, an officer can issue a citation under the basic speed law and issue a moving violation for distracted driving as well. So we are cracking down on it. We don't want people to be looking away from the road and focusing on other things. But yes, as long as there's a hands-free device in terms of talking, and you're over the age, you're 18 years of age or older, then obviously you're allowed to use those things. If you're under the age of 18, you're not allowed to use the phone, even if it's hands free. You have to keep your hands off of it. The only exception is if you have a 911 emergency and lives are on the line.
Okay, so listen up, kids. That Instagram post is certainly not worth your life or someone else's, right?
Likewise.
There's also a new amendment or law that's going into place for the move over, slow down process. So basically, when you're driving on the freeway and you're coming up to an accident and you see emergency vehicles, you are supposed to either move over safely into another lane or slow down. I didn't realize that that was only effect on freeways. This now is implemented for roadways and surface streets as well now.
Absolutely. And for those who have never had to work on a busy freeway or a busy roadway, we definitely are putting our lives on the line out there, whether it be firefighters, tow truck operators, Caltrans personnel, CHP, and other law enforcement officers as well. It can be pretty scary out there. And the hope is people, again, number one, will be paying attention so they can
Yeah.
see us in the first place. And two, that regardless of whether or not we're on the freeway or a surface street within the city, that people slow down, and if it's safe to do so, be able to move over and get to a safer location so they give us a safe distance to work.
Yeah, very important. Reporting traffic in the mornings, we hear so many incidents with accidents. And, one of the terms I always see is traffic is coming in hot. And I know you guys often run traffic breaks to slow things down, but it really is important when you see those flashing lights to slow down, slow for the cone zone. Caltrans workers put their life on the line every day as well. So, really good information there.
And that law will go in effect January 1st of next year. So right at the beginning of 2021, people can be cited for that. So we just hope that motorists will know that, understand that, and abide by it.
Very cool. Well, speaking of emergency vehicles, there's also a new law that's being implemented for next year in regards to warning people to evacuate or emergencies. It's a high-low siren that will now be allowed. Explain to us what that means.
So, unfortunately, the last few years, we've pretty much been devastated by wildfires, and especially in Northern California. And the hope is that this high-low system will notify people or signal people to evacuate in events of catastrophic emergencies or natural disasters, things of that nature. CHP is actually working on spearheading the program, and the new law allows other law enforcement agencies to seek out a permit through California Highway Patrol, and that began back I think September 29th of last year. But it's moving forward into the new year, and hopefully that'll be finalized within the new year.
So will that now be an alert that you can like that will be sent out to folks? Like, how will people know that that's what that means when you hear that siren, that type of siren?
Again, it's still in the process, so it's forthcoming, and we'll
Okay.
find out. As it is developed, it'll be unveiled to the public so that people will know exactly what that looks like or sounds like, I should say.
So I guess that's smart as well because typically when you're sleeping and you're kind of rustled with awake with sirens in your neighborhood, it doesn't necessarily mean that you need to leave your home. So it will be good to have some sort of a distinct sound that notifies residents.
Absolutely.
All right. And one more law that goes into place for 2021. It is heartbreaking when you hear stories of unattended children losing their life while being in a vehicle under heat circumstances or extremely cold weather. I didn't realize that if someone stepped in to help one of these kids, that they could actually be taken to court in a civil lawsuit or be charged with trespassing or damaging a vehicle. So now that will change this year.
Right. This new law allows a civil and criminal protection for good Samaritans that are trying to save a 6-year-old or younger child from especially vehicles. We've heard the heartbreaking news, like you just mentioned, about young children left in hot cars in the summertime, where it's like an oven inside that vehicle, or in situations where ventilation is limited. And then there's also circumstances where you have colder areas and children are left in freezing cold conditions. So this again provides protection to those good Samaritans, so that they're protected from criminal as well as civil liability, and against charges such as trespassing, or if they have to break through the window in order to get the children out, that they're not being held accountable for those damages.
Well, that's good to hear. I think that's very important to keep these kids safe. And I don't know, I don't think you should get in trouble for trying to help someone out, especially a young kid.
Absolutely.
Well, thank you, Officer Fransen, for your time today. And if anyone wants more information on this, how would they go about looking into more about what these new laws are?
They can go to our CHP Golden Gate Division Facebook page. They can also look it up online under the CHP website, and that information will be there as well.
And of course, we'll have this posted on our website at kpix.com. Thank you so much and Happy New Year.
Happy New Year. Stay safe, everybody.
Thank you.